Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Dr. Arun, Senior Consultant Gastroenterologist and Hepatologist. I feel really honored to meet you all once again in our Gastro Forum. And today I am going to discuss with you all an interesting entity of what are all the common gastrointestinal problems that a woman can develop during the period of pregnancy. As you all know that the entire 9-month period of gestation, a woman can have multiple gastrointestinal problems. For example, if you are going to take in the field of gastroenterology, you can divide the problems that a woman can anticipate during pregnancy into the problems which occurs predominantly in the gastrointestinal tract, and the next to that the problem which occurs predominantly in the liver. So what are all the problems can happen in gastrointestinal tract? As you all know that any pregnant woman, the most common presentation is vomiting. So prior to vomiting, the patient will be having a nausea, which means an unpleasant sensation to vomit. So more than 80%, more than 50 to 80% of the normal Indian population will be having this kind of nausea and vomiting during the period of gestation. So if you are going to develop nausea and vomiting, it is a normal phenomenon for most of the women, and if you are going to take some simple medications which will be tackled most of the time by your routine obstetrician who is going to give their routine management. So if the nausea and vomiting is going to happen, and sometimes if the patient is going to develop a worsening of symptoms for nausea and vomiting, which is nothing but hyperemesis gravidarum. What do you mean by this hyperemesis gravidarum? Which means if the woman is going to present with multiple episodes of nausea and multiple episodes of vomiting, persistent high vomiting, and the patient may develop, because of this high vomiting, the patient may develop symptoms of weight loss. Actually, you will be experiencing a pre-pregnancy weight loss of around 5% of your pre-pregnancy weight will be there. So you will be experiencing a weight loss, and most of the time the patient will be having signs of dehydration. What is going to happen? If you are having persistent vomiting, your fluids, everything is going to come down, your body metabolism is going to come down, so you will be experiencing a signs of dehydration. Your electrolytes, everything is going to come down. So once a problem sets in, at that point of juncture, you need to consult a gastroenterologist. That is the area the gastroenterologist will intervene, and most of the time we will be giving you the basic medication. Sometimes you may need to hospitalize at that point of time. And hyperemesis gravidarum, if it going to happen, so you are supposed to be cautious that you may have underlying thyroid related problems. Suppose you may have hypothyroidism, you may have some psychiatric problems, and all those things has to be ruled out prior to think in terms of hyperemesis gravidarum, because these are all the common coexisting presentation for a woman who presents to us with excessive vomiting and needs hospitalization. Once a patient being hospitalized, we'll be tackling with IV fluids and basic medications, and with this, the most of the time hyperemesis gravidarum will be settling down, and we will be doing a basic ultrasound to rule out any other coexisting comorbidities is there, to confirm whether there is no other pathology. And always you should remember, in a pregnant woman, if you are going to give a treatment, it has to support the mother, also it has to support the developing fetus. It should not harm the mother, it should not harm the fetus. So we need to take care of two lives. So if you're going to, that's why the pregnant woman is highly delicate. When you're tackling a pregnant woman, whatever the medications, whatever drugs we are going to use, it should not affect even the mother, it should not affect even the fetus. So our intention, our gastroenterologist domain will be focusing more in that area. And next to that, the common problem in the period of gestation, in the period of pregnancy, is nothing but a gastroesophageal reflux disease. Suppose if a woman is having gastroesophageal, what do you mean by GERD? This is nothing but you are going to take a food. Through the food pipe, the food is going to enter into your stomach. Once a food, if it is going to come into the stomach, what is going to happen? There will be a reflux of food from the stomach into the food pipe. So what is going to happen? You will be experiencing sometimes heartburn, you will be irritation in the chest, you will be experiencing heartburn, chest pain, sometimes you may have difficulty in swallowing, you may have throat pain. This kind of presentation, more than 50% of the pregnant women usually will experience. For that, I will be telling you prior to giving the medications, these kind of simple problems will be tackled. Most of the time will be a routine obstetrician itself, but if you are going to harbor this kind of problems, always you should remember that don't take high volume of diet at one point of time. That is the most important thing. Always try to consume, fractionize your meals. That means you should take at least 5 to 6 portions of a small meal. Don't take one big meal at one point of time. And next to that, Take plenty of fibers in your diet, take plenty of fruits and vegetables next to that, and don't go for any junk foods, don't go for fried items, don't go for much of oil items and all in your diet. And when you're sleeping, always make sure that you need to raise your head and when you need to elevate your head end, because if you're going to sleep in a supine position, the possibility of reflux will be more common and the possibility of affection of fetus is also more common. That is why you need to sleep always in the left lateral position if you are pregnant. Most of the time we'll be recommending that. And always you need to take care of your diet pattern, a soft solid diet, avoid much of fatty foods and don't go for junk foods, and sleep in a comfortable position which will prevent most of the time, and drink plenty of water. And sometimes if the reflux is very severe, we will be giving you some basic medications. With that, most of the time the reflux symptoms will be improving, and for this minor reflux you may not need an endoscopy during this kind of presentation. Once a baby delivers, if the symptoms persist, then we will plan for endoscopy. And later part of my discussion I will be telling you what are the various indications for endoscopy also. And next to that, the other common problems what you are commonly expecting during the period of pregnancy is nothing but a constipation. So it can develop, constipation is nothing but if you are having difficulty in passing stools. So if you are going to develop constipation, it will be around 30 to 40% of the pregnant women can develop constipation. So what is the reason? There are multiple hormonal mechanisms for that. Once your tummy is going to become big, the stool excreting capacity is going to come down. So most of the women will be experiencing constipation. So for that only we will be looking for thyroid, any other problems, is there coexisting diabetes or something else. Everything has to be looked prior to treat constipation. And always you make sure that you need to take plenty of fibers in your diet, the same thing. And sometimes we will be prescribing you a stool softness, and don't make sure that you are not supposed to strain during defecation. When you're passing stools, don't strain at all, and take a stool softness as advised by your gastroenterologist. And once you take the stool softness, you make sure that you are going to pass at least once or twice. A regular defecation has to be established in a proper manner. And next to that, you may develop a rare entity, what is called as inflammatory bowel disease. Inflammatory bowel disease, it's a dangerous condition, always you should remember. And if you are going to develop IBD, so how to prevent that? The worsening of complications during pregnancy. And prior to that, see, if you are going to be pregnant, how will you manage IBD? And prior to pregnancy, if some mother is, previously, prior to conception itself, if the mother is having IBD and other problems. What is IBD? Inflammatory bowel disease. It's two entities. One is ulcerative colitis and next to that is Crohn's. So I will be briefly telling you what are the common symptoms you will be getting. You will be facing if you are having IBD. Means nothing but you will be having worsening of symptoms. You will be having persistent loose stools, predominantly in the nocturnal time. You will be in the night time. And next to that, you may have blood in the motion, persistent bloody stools. You may have weight loss. You may have abdominal pain. Other symptoms for that, it is in the domain of gastroenterologists. So gastroenterologists will be prescribing you a battery of medications for that. And following the intake of medication, some medications may affect your fetus also. For that you need to consult your gastroenterologist whether you are planning for conception or prior to conception or post conception. What are the medications you need to take? That is the most important to be consulted with a gastroenterologist. That is the most important thing. And when you are taking some medications, you may have some complications which may affect your fetus also, and you should be in a regular follow-up with the gastroenterologist. So if you are having any blood in the stools, the gastroenterologist will be doing some basic investigation. We will be doing some basic blood tests, followed by sometimes we will be doing a basic sigmoidoscopy, or if it is absolutely indicated, we will be doing colonoscopy also. Sigmoidoscopy means we will be putting a tube into the anal canal. We will be seeing what is the basic pathology. We will not be screening fully, but we will be screening only a minimal segment of your colon. So these are all we'll be looking into your basic clinical profile, your pregnancy status, your nutrition status, your blood level, because you all should remember during the period of pregnancy, as I told you before, it's an immunocompromised state. You will be having multiple complications, and it's your blood will be in a hemodiluted phase, which means basically you will be having anemia. Since you will be having anemia, they will be prescribing you iron supplements, obstetrician will be prescribing you calcium supplements, and multiple medications will be on. And folic acid will be going on to prevent any neural tube defects, which means any developmental anomaly, to prevent the developmental anomaly which is going to happen to the baby. These are all the major medications we will be taking on during the period of gestation. So this medication itself sometimes will cause constipation and other problems. This medication itself will be worsening your other problems also. So that is the most important entity. So what are the major medications you need to take, and for IBD, constipation, other related issues has to be tackled properly. properly with a gastroenterologist. And next to that, these are all the major gastrointestinal presentations. So nausea, vomiting, hyperemesis gravidarum, inflammatory bowel disease, and constipation, other related issues we have been discussing. And what are the major liver problems? As you all know that the liver is such a wonderful organ which is most commonly affected during the period of pregnancy. And if liver affects, what is going to happen? Always you remember that if liver gets affected, you may develop jaundice. So how does it going to happen? Jaundice is nothing but a yellowish discoloration of your spleen. You may develop yellowishness in the urine, and sometimes in pregnancy, always you should remember there is a phase called cholestasis. What does that mean? It's a benign phase most of the time. What you in the medical terminology, what you used to say that it's nothing but intrahepatic cholestasis of pregnancy. So in the late period of gestation, so in the third trimester, which means once you've been entering into the third trimester, after 6 to 7 months period of gestation, you may develop some itching, some pruritus, what you say, some itching in your body. Suddenly a pregnant female will be experiencing lots of itching. So if you're going to develop lots of itching, and if you are developing a yellowishness of your eyes, yellowishness in your urine, always make sure that you need to consult with a gastroenterologist that you are developing any liver pathology, because cholestasis, and sometimes it will be benign, sometimes it will be dangerous. Always you should be very cautious. And if this kind of presentation, if it tends to be having high grade fever, sometimes a pregnant woman can experience sudden high-grade fever, abdominal pain, a persistent vomiting, sometimes a blood vomiting, a sudden raise in liver enzyme, which may make you to get hospitalized, and you may deserve intensive care admission. So that condition is nothing but called acute fatty liver of pregnancy. Suddenly it will be worsening of symptoms. For that, the intensivist, the gastroenterologist will be admitting you in the intensive care, and most of the time it will be occurring in the third trimester. So acute fatty liver of pregnancy is one of the dangerous entity in a pregnant woman. That is also most common during the period of last trimester. So always you should be cautious enough to tackle every common presentation. So you all should know that in viral hepatitis, there are multiple viral hepatitis there. Among that, for a pregnant woman, the chances of risk of viral hepatitis, which is more common, is nothing but hepatitis E. So more than 20% of the pregnant women can be having hepatitis E during pregnancy. So if any liver related problems is going to set in, so there is high possibility of hepatitis E in a pregnant woman can go for liver failure. If liver failure is going to establish, what is going to happen? You may develop severe problems, multiple problems. You may develop abdominal pain, you may develop severe jaundice, as I told you, fever, and you will have ascites. You may have fluid accumulation in the abdomen, and you may have worsening of symptoms. So multiple complications. You may need ICU care, and you may need to terminate your pregnancy at that point of time. And prior to that, we'll be considering a liver transplant and other major procedures that is strictly be tackled by a senior consultant gastroenterologist in the domain, in senior consultant gastroenterologist domain. And next to that, what are the other problems that can happen in the field of hepatology, in the field for a pregnant woman is nothing but you may develop a gallstones, means which is mainly stone accumulation in your gallbladder. See, if you are obese and if you are going to become pregnant, if you are diabetic, if you are having high cholesterol levels, if you are having thyroid and any complications, there is high possibility for you to develop a gallstones. If you are going to develop a gallstones, we will be prescribing some basic medications, and if you are symptomatic, if you are having severe pain because of your gallstones, we will be planning for your surgery, elective surgery, but most of the time we will try to postpone the surgery after your conception. But if you are having a worsening of symptoms, some minor surgical procedures we will be planning for. And gallstones can happen, and multiple complications can happen in the field of gastroenterology if you are pregnant. Always remember acute fatty liver, hepatitis E, and intrahepatic cholestasis, itching problem. Take care and have a good nutritious diet, and consult your gastroenterologist early and prevent all those complications. And next to that, overall the patient deserves endoscopy. Before I concluding, I would like to say you that if the patient is having upper GI bleed, because I am seeing many patients, many pregnant women. Recently I have seen a pregnant woman who presents to me in the third month of gestation with a severe abdominal pain. I have done the basic ultrasound to her. She is around 30 years young female. I have done a basic ultrasound. In that ultrasound, we picked out a pancreatitis. What do you mean by pancreatitis? Pancreas, the inflammation of the pancreas. What is pancreas? It's an organ which is going to take care of your insulin secretion and other things which will prevent the diabetes and other complications. So if pancreas is going to involve, it will be producing severe pain, and it may predispose to shock and other complications, and which will make you to admit in intensive care. So dangerous infection also can be flared up if you are having pancreatitis. So if the patient in a young female, if a young female is having gallstones, she may develop pancreatitis. That too, pregnancy will worsen the pancreatitis. Always a pregnant woman is immunocompromised. That is the one thing I enlist always in my discussion. And if you are immunocompromised, always you should be taking care of your diet, nutrition, other things prior to discussing that. And next to that, so what are the common endoscopic procedures? We can do upper GI endoscopy, we can do lower GI endoscopy, sometimes we will be doing ERCP. Suppose if you are having a severe gallstones and if you are having CBD stones, which means common bile duct, these are all the biliary tract. If you are having any stones here, so we will be trying to put a ERCP. So ERCP is a procedure we can try to attempt, but even then there are some complications, some contraindications is there. And next to that, if you are having persistent UGA bleed, which means if you have severe blood vomiting, at that time we can plan for endoscopy after taking necessary precautions. And if you are having severe LGA bleed, suppose if you are having inflammatory bowel disease, low AGI, persistently in motion, you will be continuously getting bloody motion. So if you are going to develop all these problems, sometimes if the benefit outweighs the risk, sometimes we will be planning a routine upper GI endoscopy and lower GI endoscopy. And if you're having any pre-existing liver problems, suppose I'm seeing so many patients with autoimmune liver disease, some patients with Wilson disease, and if those kind of patients is going to develop if these kind of patients is going to get conceived in the later period, what is going to happen? The patient may develop a blood vomiting and other complications may develop, and that time we may need to do banding procedure, endoscopic procedure, and so many other things is there in the field. The advent of gastroenterology has been so beautifully developed, and we are going to tackle, we are seeing multiple patients in the pregnant female who develop multiple gastrointestinal issues. So if you want to have a normal pregnancy period, take care of your diet, take care of your nutrition, consult with your obstetrician in a routine manner, follow the basic medications, and if you're having any gastrointestinal problems, consult the gastroenterologist and take the medications in a reasonable way without affecting the fetus and without affecting the mother. It has to be done properly, and make sure once you develop any other problems, like as I told you, like liver related issues, any other problem, promptly consult a gastroenterologist and take care of your nutrition, take care of your diet, and have a good pregnancy outcome. Thanking you all. Good night.